Hey, today I'd like to share with you my daily struggle. It's about, I would say, there is as always a perception of the life I want, of myself as I would like to be, to evolve, and the image of that I have of my current life and how I perceive myself right now. And obviously I'm trying to change all that to make evolve, to evolve and to improve my life. But I kind of struggle because it's always the well, everything is there, is how to switch and how to change to improve in everything you want in your life. And I realized that it's, as I said, is it's always based on two things. The first is that we are more or less um, perceiving ourselves through our emotions. So basically, what we feel, we think we are, and we perceive life through those feelings, which is a complete mistake because all that is based on past experiences that makes us feel certain things according to yeah, to past experiences. And then the second thing, which is more or less related, is that we live through a story. So my feelings and the fact that I live as if my feelings were and my emotions were the truth makes me think, it makes me perceive myself and my life in a wrong way, because I can realize that, for example, I feel stressed most of the time, and I can realize that there's nothing stressful around me. Most of the time I'm in a peaceful environment, everything's just fine, but I still, get stressed. So I can realize that all that is not really not based on the reality. It's always so a story in my mind. And so I realize that everything I think, everything I when I'm doing something, it's always, through a certain perception of it's difficult, of it's I'm not who I would like to be, I'm not able to be who I want to be, things like that. And it's like I'm constraining myself, but mostly by a story that I tell myself. There's nothing true about all of that. It's certainly based on past experiences, but not on right now. And so I realized that I'm really struggling to stop. It's like always, all my past experiences and my stories come back again and again, like something that has a big inertia, and then I must not necessarily stop, but at least quit, you know? And so there is one thing, there's this kind of big inertia that I live mainly through emotions and stories that makes me perceive myself and my life a certain way. But I don't want that anymore. I want to change that. And all of that is, I can realize that when I look around me, it's nonsense. It's not the reality at all. So it should be easy to change. So now there's the second option, what I would like. So what I realize now is that if I want to change that, first of all, I must know what I want, or at least, right now, what is the next step? Where am I going? What am I, trying to reach, to change? What do I want now? What am I building? Because else I will never be able to change if I don't have a clear vision of, at least right now, what am I doing? All that can change day after day, even, or month after month. It doesn't really matter. The thing is, am I clear on what I'm doing right now, on what I want, not what I want to avoid, but what I want to build, who I want to be, and then act in this direction, act this way. And then there's the difficulty to change, because you feel, no, but maybe I don't deserve it. I feel I don't deserve it. I feel it's difficult. I feel there is no solutions, no ways. I don't know how to do it. Many things. And I realized that the best way to change that, to change basically all those stories, all those impressions that are just based on false reality, my emotions again and my thoughts, there's no solution to find in your mind. You know, you cannot say, oh yeah, I know, I see how I'm going to do now, I feel it, I feel I'm able to do that, I'm able to change. No, you don't feel it because you're just stuck in those kinds of bad feelings, bad emotions, and bad thoughts. The only way to make a change is to just take another kind of action, make, you know, to make real something else. And how do you make it real? By taking action. If you take an action that is just different from what you don't want, then you make concrete, you make real something else. And that's, I think, the only way, really. Think differently. That's what I try to do, to say, yeah, all my thoughts, all that, I know that's not real. I feel that, that's not real. So now what do I want? Now I choose that. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's not going to be something that I'm going to feel. It's a choice. I make the choice and I do another action. I don't feel it, but you know, the fact, there are two steps. The first is to take action and you don't feel it. And I think the big trap is that we're always waiting for the right time, waiting to feel good, to feel, you know, to feel that we're able to do it, to feel confident about it. And that's a mistake, you know, because we don't feel it, we never feel it if we want to change something. On the other hand, if we just take action and do something else, it's easy. The action by itself is always easy, you know. And once you've taken action, things are different. You know, you are just creating something new. It's real. You've been doing something. It's not going to change maybe a lot of things in your life, but in your mindset, it's going to change everything. You're not there. You're there now. You're already there. It's not a matter of imagining or something like that. It's you're acting. Your life is different because you're acting differently. You're doing something else in another mindset. You're creating something else, and to change from there to there, there's no moment where you're going to feel it. It's a matter of choice. I don't feel it. I feel it's. I don't know how I'm going to change. I don't know. I don't feel it. It seems difficult, and so on. But I decide that all that is just thoughts and feelings. I observe. You know, it's not something I decide. I observe that all that are just feelings, emotions, thoughts, and it's just not coherent with my truth. So I decide that now I'm going to think otherwise. And now I take another kind of action, the kind of action that leads to where I want to go. And then I do it. I don't feel it, but I do it. It's easy, just a little step, just a little action. But when I do this action, now this is my truth. It's what I'm doing. It's the way I'm acting. If I decide to think otherwise, it's a new reality. I think that I feel something, but I decide to think otherwise. And then I'm going to perceive things other way, and my feelings are going to adapt, because in a way there are two options. The first is I compound my bad feelings, the things I don't want, by trying to resolve them, to understand them, to understand what's the problem, and blah, 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 and so on. And as long as I keep in this mindset and taking that for my truth, I just compound the effect. Or I decide that, okay, that's not the truth. I have a choice to make and I can do something else. And I let all that. It's like, it feels impossible, but if I just do something else, then it's possible. That's it. When you realize the different options, it's you can change very easily. You just have to act differently, and don't rest on your feelings. Your feelings are going to adapt. They are not the truth. Never. Your actions make things different. So that's a little bit my struggle and what I observe. And I think the more I observe that, the better I become at seeing what works, what doesn't work, what is useful, what is not useful. Okay, so yeah, that's my my struggle those days. So as usual, I'd like to have your point of view, your ideas, your experience on that. Don't hesitate, share that, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.